Hi you guys, Miss K here, coming to you from the library. We're gonna do some doodling today, and I have been really into drawing and painting paths going through a little wooded, beautiful place. And so today I was just thought it might be fun to doodle a path that wanders through some trees, as you can see. And I love these because it just kind of gets my imagination. I always think, where is that path going and what's at the end of the path? And if I were to walk down that path, it would be so pretty. So I did one today, and I don't have a lot of supplies here. I'm just using what I have on hand. So you use what you have. If you have crayons, if you have markers, if you have pencils, use what you have. So you're gonna notice that I only have my highlighter pens and a few other things with me here in the library. So that is the picture we're going to do. And we are going to get a piece of, I have a lot of scratch paper in the library that so I'm going to use a piece of scratch paper. And whenever I'm using a Sharpie, I like to put another paper under it so the ink doesn't get on my table. If you get a little ink on your table, it comes off with rubbing alcohol really well, or hand sanitizer actually takes off Sharpie. But be careful and don't get Sharpie on you. All right, so I think I'm gonna start with a pencil, and I'm just gonna kind of imagine my path that it's gonna kind of come from over here and wind through the woods that way, okay? And at the bottom of the path, it's pretty wide. And as you go up it, it gets more narrow. All right. It's a really light pencil, I know, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And then I'm gonna add some trees. So there's gonna be some trees on this side of the path. And so I'm gonna add trees that are on that side of the path. Some of them are planted further back, so they're a little smaller. And just make a stick, and then there's some bigger ones. As it gets closer, they get a little bigger, right? So this one's huge, and you're really only seeing the trunks. And then back further, I'm gonna add some smaller trees. And then on this side of the path, we're gonna have a tree that comes up through here, and it kind of splits, and another tree here that kind of goes over that one. And we'll probably have something here. I'm not quite sure what I'll do there yet. All right, so now that I just kind of have it laid out what I might want to do, I'm going to take my Sharpie and pencil in for good. I'm going to do these close trees first. I'm going to give myself a little room with my paper so I don't draw on the counter. These are big, close trees. This one's even bigger and even closer. This one goes down like that. This one I'm going to move over a little bit. And this one, let's see, we probably are going to have something there. Here's one. I like this big tree here. This one, I honestly am just making it the simplest thing ever, because it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. This is kind of how I just want to draw for fun. So now I'm going to take my pen and lay it a little bit sideways and just kind of make this path through the woods, kind of dotted, and that's about it. And then this side of it, kind of go over it like that. So there's a little bit of shadow maybe, especially here. We're gonna have some of these trees, the sun's coming through and making a shadow across the paths. We'll make a couple path shadows like that. Just kind of the direction of the path. Okay, back here, these trees, we're just gonna kind of make some skinnier trees that are way back here in the distance. Maybe they have a couple branches on them. Maybe we have a couple back here with branches. All right, now this is another tree with branches, like a shrub maybe. I think I'm gonna have some grass growing coming up here on the base of this tree. There's little clumps of grass coming out here at the bottom. There's some grass growing along the side of the path here. A little bit more. Lots of grass growing along this path right here. The back side of the path, I'm going to have some grass growing. Long, tall shrubs back here. Isn't this interesting? These squiggles just look like scribbling, but it's grass. Okay, now I think I want to give my trees some texture. Like, you know how you see a trunk and it's got lines and curves and swirls in them? So I'm going to just swirl some of the patterns you might see in a trunk. And you can tell I'm not too stressed about being real careful and making it perfect. I'm just kind of giving it swirls. Sometimes you see a knot in a tree like that. That's what you want to do. Some branches, some leaves. Back here, we're just going to have a few more small trees. It's like it's winter or something because I don't have any leaves on these trees yet. We'll see what I end up doing, but I'm going to just make a few more. There we go. All right, now that I kind of have this drawn out, maybe I'll draw like a little shrubbish here. This is a shrubbish, whatever that is. I'll color it green, color it, make some branches coming out of it. Okay, there's our drawing. So fast and fun. Now, we could leave it like that, just let it be black and white, or we can color it. And I didn't have any blue because everybody thinks the sky is blue, but I did have these fun, just fun highlighter colors. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make it look like a sunset is behind there. So I'll start with pink, and we'll just kind of do the top part of the sky in pink. And here's, I'm not gonna color the trunks pink. I'm gonna leave those plain for now. And I'm gonna do the sky behind the trees pink. I can come back and do more as I move my under paper down. This is a little V cut out of that tree. And that one. Okay, so there I have my pink part of the sky, but in my sunset, I'm gonna have pink, orange. I'm gonna have some orange and yellow in my sky too. Because those are the colors I have. If you want your sky to be blue, make it blue. If you don't want it to be pink, orange, and yellow, don't make it pink, orange, and yellow. But I know I have seen lots of sunsets that look these colors, so I love it. Sometimes the sky is so bright and colorful, only the bottom of it's blue and the rest of it's bright colors. I watch a lot of sunsets. Okay. I'm actually kind of just going right down into my grass too with the yellow, only because I know that I can color that yellow with some green. It will be fine. But if you're not using a color that will cover up, then avoid your grass. Okay, there's my sky. It's all blue. Now I think I'm gonna take my brown and do some of this path. And I'm gonna leave some of the path white because it kind of looks like it might be the sun shining in spots on the path. And so I'm gonna leave some of my path white from the sun shining on it. Okay, so, because the sun comes through the trees and it's shining on the path, right? Now, I do have a brown, and I could paint my tree trunks brown, but I think I'm going to actually paint them orange first. I think even though I have orange in the sky, I'm gonna go with some orange on these trunks. And I'm not being super thorough to get them completely orange, but you get the idea here. I'm making my tree trunks orange because it's just that time of year when my trunks are orange, I guess, huh? I'll probably come back in and add some brown so it looks a little more, it looks like my orange is almost dead on that one. Good thing I have a second one, but that's okay if you don't. I'm gonna kind of do all the little swirls especially, I'm gonna get lots of color on those. Okay, so now I have orange trunks and I'm gonna come back with a little brown and just do some of the lines, make them look a little more brown. You can take all the time you want doing these trees and doing this scene, but I'm doing this in extra quick mode. Looks like I missed a little bit of the sky right here between these trees. All right. All right, so there's my trees. Now I'm going to take a green highlighter and kind of come through and highlight the grass and what's happening here in this, around the path. We have lots of grass, lots growing here. That's a really tall grass. Growing here, there's some tall grass. Around these trees, lots of grass growing around the path. Some of it's even growing on the path there. And here's this shrubby thing we made. There's that, and here's some grass. I'm going to kind of just make some, give this shrubby thing some color. There we go. We have a lot of grass. I'm going to kind of take a darker marker and just do some shading on some of this other green to make it look a little deeper dimension. When you use two colors of the same color, two shades of the same color, it gives it some depth. So I'm going to add some of the dark green here, add some to the path where maybe some grass growing on the path a little bit. Back here, way back in the shady area. And there we have it. There's our cool, crazy path. And I'm gonna just initial it and call it good. I hope you had fun.